welcome. My name is Malva Gasowski, and I am the host of this summit. I have invited experts from all around the world to help you, help me, and every other parent of a strong-willed child. Strong-willed children are extra. They give us extra love, extra screams, extra shouts, extra joy, and to be honest, as you can see, sometimes extra energy. Both the positive and the negative feelings are there. Strong-willed children are my personal favorite. I am one of those, and I have a very strong-willed daughter, and she kind of put me through the ringer as well. So all these experts here are here to help you understand your strong-willed child, because I always say if you crack the code of a strong-willed child, then parenting is smooth sailing. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the experts, for coming here. I am very happy that you're here. I will ask Tanya. Tanya, if I may ask you, tell me one sentence about yourself. Why are you interested in strong-willed children? And give me one tip.
Okay, so I'm Tanya Lopez. I'm a hypnotherapist, and I help overwhelmed and stressed out mums who are really struggling with their children to create peace and harmony. I've been working with parents for over 20 years, and I'm just really passionate about supporting parents with breaking patterns. So my one tip is connection, connection, connection. So the first connection is the connection with ourselves. How well are we meeting our own needs, and how well are we looking after ourselves? The second connection is how well are we connecting to our children? How are we managing that deeper connection? And then the third connection is how are we connecting to our inner children? So some of those unconscious things that are coming up are probably coming up from our own childhood. So how well are we connecting to those things that are emerging?
Right. Thank you so very much. It's very important to understand what our triggers are too, because if you do have a strong-willed child, that child knows how to push your buttons. And man, we want to know how to control them. So thank you very much for that tip, Tanya.
I'm Newkeller. I have 6 kids of my own, and I would say all 6 of them are very spirited children. And they age from 8-year-old twins to 27-year-olds. And I have a 3-year-old granddaughter who's very, very spirited. I think she put all of it into one child. So I help families to connect and to bring peace and harmony back in the home by working with the children specifically, as well as the parents. My tip is to be curious, not critical. When we are curious about our children's behavior, curious about the communication that shows through their behavior, we are able to guide them through their experience, not our own. So we release our own baggage through our own parenting, as I too was a spirited child, and to realize what they need and what they want so we can support them more.
Right. Thank you so very much. I love that tip, something to jot down. So once again, if you guys didn't get that, make sure that you rewind, because that is an amazing tip. Thank you very much, Vinu. Joe, can you tell us a few words about yourself so that we can get to know you better as one of the speakers of the summit?
The thing that I'm most concerned about overall is children's social and emotional competence and well-being, and their ability to understand their own needs and be aware of those and communicate those effectively. But the way I tend to do that is to help parents to understand what's going on inside their children's heads. So I know a lot about brain development, and often the challenges that we have around the way a child behaves and responds to the world is we're dealing with what's going on the outside. So I help parents to understand the kind of internal environment, so you can be more sure that you're working with your child's brain and in the same direction that their brain is going, instead of against it. Because when we end up going accidentally or inadvertently working against a child's natural normal brain development, that things can become problematic. And I guess my tip would be, if I had to narrow it down, just in the interest of staying empathetic and connected with our kids, is that all behaviour is a form of communication. All challenging behaviour is a form of, it's a way of a child saying, I have an unmet need, or this is just a skill I haven't learned yet, or in the moment I haven't mastered it. And I guess the last thing I'd add to that, I know I could talk forever on this is a slightly uncomfortable truth that I speak to a lot of parents about, and it's a real useful reminder in those difficult moments that it is not a child's job any child's job ever to make their parent happy, and it's not a child's responsibility to be easy to live with.
Yeah, like you said, hard truth. And this is exactly what you guys are going to be getting in this summit. Thanks, Joe, for saying that, because we do have a tendency to think, where did I go wrong? Okay, what part of my genes or what kind of my parenting is the reason for my child's behavior? So, yeah, thank you for saying that. That is something of a mindset shift almost for some parents out there. Thank you very much, Joe. Sarah, if I may ask you to tell me a few words about yourself and what brings you to this summit, and a tip for the parents as well.
Wonderful. So again, my name is Sarah Salza, and I'm a parent coach to parents of children who've experienced trauma. So the parents that I'm working with definitely have strong-willed children. And the tip that I have is to get a dry erase marker and go to your bathroom mirror, write your family's names on the mirror, and start to jot your feelings down. So as people have mentioned, spirited children, sometimes they don't necessarily have a connection to their internal world. So letting them know your feelings and checking in with theirs at points of calm will help them have a sense of connection. It'll connect the two of you, and then you can work through some of the more challenges connected. Thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. Dry erase marker. There we go. Okay, so once again, parents, get a dry erase marker and do exactly as Sarah has said. If you guys want more tips, remember to join us in the summit. Now I will ask Celia. Celia, if I may ask you to introduce yourself and tell us a tip about from your practice on strong-willed kids.
Hi, everyone. I'm Celia Kibbler, founder of Pumped Up Parenting and Fun Fit Family Fitness. And I'm an author and a family empowerment coach, and on a mission to stop 1 million parents from yelling at their kids. I am also a mommy of 5, 2 I gave birth to and 3 I gained through marriage. And I am a grandma to 9. And I've been working with parents and kids for over 40 years. And my best advice is, for one tip, is to start recognizing the positive. With strong-willed children, we're always so quick to react to the negative that's going on and give them their attention when all this negative is going on. When in reality, guys, your kids do so much good, and you're busy doing whatever you're doing and they're being good, and it goes unnoticed, basically. So I want you to start really noticing when they're being wonderful, and not just noticing, but letting them know you noticed, because they ultimately want to please you. I know it doesn't seem like that, but they ultimately want to please you. And when they know their behavior is pleasing you, then they will be doing more of that than more of the negative.
Yeah, thank you so very much. That's an amazing one. Thank you, Celia. I'm so happy you're here with us in the summit. Jack, lovely to see you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jacquie, and I am an author and a parenting coach to families of transgender kids and neurodiverse kids, both of which are definitely very strong-willed and I help parents to support their children's authentic identities and give them the support and guidance that they need with that, build that nurturing relationship that can last a lifetime. And I know that a lot of the parents I work with say things like, I just hope when they're an adult that they're a good person and that I'm in their life. And I help parents to do that. And my tip is, and also, before I get to my tip, I also want to mention I'm also the uncle to my sister has quadruplets, and one of my nieces is extremely strong-willed as well. So, and I was a strong-willed child too. So I feel like this is something that's very personal to me, and that I love helping parents to make life easier for them and for their kids, and make everything better. And my tip is that when you're dealing with a strong-willed child, to let go of your expectations and to sort of have a paradigm shift, because a lot of times I think when you go into parenting, a lot of times parents are having that expectation of, I'm the parent, so I'll be the final authority, and the child will accept what I'm going to do. And as we know, that doesn't really work with strong-willed children. And a lot of times we have to kind of shift that thinking and make it, I'm going to be more of a partner of my child going on this journey together. The parent will still is still older, has the experience, and in certain cases will be the one to have the final say, but it's not so much you do what I say kind of thing as it is, let's get to know each other, let's be authentic with each other and find ways to coexist that are best for everybody.
Oh, Jack, thank you so very much. Tatev, if I may ask you to tell me a few words about yourself, introduce us to your practice and your tip.
Hi, everyone. By the way, I loved everything that I heard by now. It was amazing. I'm like, which one would I pick to say? They're amazing tips, they're amazing explanations, and well done on that. I've been, my background is in psychology, but I did end up working as a coach for the past 15 years. And in the beginning, I didn't choose to be a parent coach. It just, I was a life coach. But then I realized that a lot of parents were coming, and then I was connecting. Sometimes they would bring their kids. I was connecting with the kids more. I'm a mother. I have one daughter, but I have 4 more nieces and nephews that are continuously with me. And many times because of them, I do end up organizing even small summer schools at my training center right now where I am, because there is enough space. So I end up being a parent of 5 very often, of different ages. It's just something that came and found me without me looking for it. So what I would say is, first of all, please, we have to pay attention to our own psychological well-being and our mental health. When we talk about mental health, it's not about, oh, if you're mentally healthy person is not, there's no diagnosis there. Mental health is something that can improve and improve and improve. If we don't have them, if we don't have that mental health and well-being, no tip will work, or it will be very short-lived. Okay, so please pay attention to your psychological well-being. Do what it takes to raise your wellness, and then from then on, it will be easy, like other speakers said, to really connect with the child, which is my tip, to really stay curious. And that connection and curiosity is what's going to lead you to help your child become reflective, okay? Because reflection is all we need for the child to come back, to come out of that tantrumy, whatever situation, and to come to their senses. And they do have a lot of it. We just need to make the right atmosphere, starting with us and with our connection, for them to come to their senses. That's all.
Wow, thank you so very much. That is an amazing tip. Sonia, if you could introduce yourself to the group and to the audience, tell us a few words about who you are, how you work with parents, and one tip about parenting a strong-willed child.
Hi, welcome everyone. I'm so glad and so excited to be here with you. So I'm Sonia. I'm a parenting coach. I actually specialize in conscious parenting and in emotional intelligence, which I'm really, really passionate about. So I'm also a mother of 2 amazing little girls, and they were the one that changed my life. And I understand what my passion is. And now I help parents that feel frustrated, stressed, overwhelmed, and lost, not only to create connection with their children, not only help them thrive, but most importantly, get attuned with themselves and find joy in parenting. And for my tip, I think exactly, what is important, right, when we have especially a strong-willed child, is to remember about ourselves, right? As already was said before, but I think this is the most important thing, right? So we need to be self-aware, be aware of our emotional state, about our needs, because only then we can really take care of our children. So it is so important sometimes to just stop, take a deep breath, because I love this analogy that we are the sun and our children are the planet, right? So whenever we are stressed, our kids can sense it, can feel it, and they're going to react to it. And only when we are aware of our emotional state and we resonate the peace, calm, confidence, but also love and joy, right? Then only all the tips and the tricks that were mentioned here will work. And last but not least, exactly, sometimes it's so important to remember about the joy, not about the struggles, but the joy we all have in parenting. And, you know, at the beginning of the day and end of the day, just say like, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm the mom of this amazing child. And this is also so important. So yeah, that's for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Again, parenting a strong-willed child is a gift. There are some people who believe that things that come your way are especially to help you help the other people as well. So having a strong-willed child is also to help you grow as a parent. So thank you very much, Sonia, for pointing your tips out. Nicole, if I can ask you, please introduce yourselves to the parents who are going to join us in the summit and tell us one tip about parenting a strong-willed child.
Sure. Hi, I'm Nicole Rawson. I'm the founder of Screen Time Clinic, which is actually a network, an international network of digital wellness coaches. And we're going to be talking about how screen time is actually undermining all of your mindful, proactive parenting techniques. And it's something that a lot of parents don't realize, that even a small amount of screen time, particularly for strong-willed children, can really snowball into a very large problem, and it can really get in the way of developmental milestones and removes the child from being in tune to their authentic selves. So we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like every stage from birth until 18, 20, because the frontal lobe doesn't develop until age 25, 26. There's many reasons, and this is my biggest tip, is for parents to stop convincing children about their screen time policies and just implement them, have scaffolding, and put parameters around to keep your children safe, make sure they're being interactive outside, really developing those social emotional skills, and not being so concerned about competitive academic achievement when they're young, because the skills that they're learning just from being everyday life are way more valuable than any time online is ever going to provide. So we're going to take a close insight, because making big changes around screen time are easier than you think, and it'll have a great impact.
Wow. Thank you, Nicole. I can't wait to hear more from you. Thank you for sharing that tip. Denise, can you introduce yourself, and can I ask you please to tell us one of your parenting tips for strong-willed children?
Yes, yeah, of course. So I'm Denise. I am also a parent coach, and kind of similar to what Sonia at the end, it's like, remember to the joy, right? And so what I do as the parent coach is I help parents enjoy parenting more, because sometimes when we are in the day-to-day, we kind of forget that we wanted to have kids, that there was a reason why we wanted our family. And so with mindset shifts and different communication skills, I really guide them into connecting with their children. And so my tip for you for today is to drop the rope. And this is especially when you're parenting a strong-willed child, it can be so easy to pick up that rope, right? And when I say, and I'm thinking things sometimes just as simple as asking them to, like Nicole maybe said, to turn off the TV, and they say no, and then that's when, like, you know, you can easily pick up the rope and then start that struggle. And so my tip is to not drop the rope in every situation, of course, but to also take that step back and think, what is important to me? Where is it that I really want to draw the line on? And what are other things that I can just let go, and that my strong-willed child assert their independence and their autonomy?
Thank you very much, Denise. Choose your battles wisely, said someone who was smart. Thank you very much, Denise, for your tip. Kristen, if I may ask you to introduce yourself to the panel and the parents out there, as well as give us one parenting tip that you have for strong-willed children.
Okay, my name is Kristen Foltz. I'm an emotions and intuitive parenting coach, the founder of Healing Home Coaching, and I help special needs and adoptive moms calm the chaos in their home, connect with their kids, and heal their mom triggers. So essentially what that looks like is bringing intuitive guidance through energy work, muscle testing, getting down to the true root of the unspoken need, which is being expressed through the behaviors, and really connecting with your child on a deeper level, past the behaviors, past the trauma, past the tantrums, and being able to encourage them to have a voice, to have their sovereignty, and be able to work in partnership by connecting with them through the heart of your child. So the one tip I would be so happy for all parents to embrace is, many of us have already said it, is embrace the joy of parenting. I know for me, I'm very strong-willed. I have sensory needs and some pretty special circumstances, and my preschool toddler has her own set of needs, and together it's a partnership, it's a dance, it's a communication skill set that sometimes we're really great at and sometimes not. We need some help too, you know what I mean? So what I would encourage each parent to do is embrace the moments of chaos and craziness, and don't be too hard on yourself, because parenting can be hard. Parenting a strong-willed child will bring all kinds of things up for you from your inner child, your shadow self, your triggers from childhood. And it's important to give yourself grace, encourage more joy, and really connect with your kids on a deeper level. And that starts from the heart.
Oh, very, very true. Thank you so very much. I can't wait to hear your workshop during the summit. Thank you very much. And Zalia, if I may ask you to introduce yourself to the group and give us one tip for parenting a strong-willed child.
Hi, I'm Zalia. I specialize in inner child healing, mainly within the entrepreneurial and business space, but I've always found myself becoming kind of a peer-to-peer mentor for teenagers, and currently work with teens of clients that I've worked with on that kind of mentorship basis. So my one tip for parents is that as strong-willed children, it's very easy to feel misunderstood. Because of your nature, you want to be right, you always want to get things out there and believe that you have so much to offer. But because of the nature of it being really conflicting for a lot of people, it often undermines the own amazingness that you feel you have. So it can be very easy to feel understood, which can be very alienating and make you feel super alone. So within that, my one tip for that is not that we have to go ahead and try to understand our child, but help them understand themselves, to see how amazing they truly are, and see that there are people who see that light within them, so they don't have to feel like they don't fit in somewhere.
I really love that. And I'm just going to add one more sentence to it. Very often when you do have a strong-willed child, and that child is older and going out of your home, from under your wing to any other social setting, you might hear that your child is stubborn and it doesn't listen. Your child is always undermining authority and is very rebellious, and kind of these labels stick and deplete the self-esteem of that child. So what Zalia just mentioned is quite interesting. I can't wait to hear your workshop on strong-willed children. Thank you so very much, because we as parents have to make sure that we protect our children from these labels and teach others as well. Karen here with me. Karen, can you introduce yourself to the group and to the parents coming and joining us within the summit for strong-willed children, as well as one tip, please?
Okay, I am so happy to be here, and it's been fabulous listening to everybody, because I want to say, yes, it's what I do, it's what I do, it's what I would say. So I am a parenting coach, and I've created Parenting Magic, and that really helps parents to connect and communicate with the children in a conscious and a confident way, which is very much needed. And the author of the book is Parenting Magic: A New Approach to Behavior and Communication. I am passionate about communication, and the thing is, we're always communicating. We can't not be. And energy is how we communicate. So it's important to understand that it's our energy and it's how we're feeling and how we're presenting that's affecting our children. I want to see a world where, you know, all children are able to shine their unique brilliance. And this is what I think strong-willed children have got. And we're trying to put them into round pegs and it's not working. It's recognizing that in them, and when they are playing up or whatever the problem is, it is because they're not being heard or a need's not been met. If we could just be more aware of it. So I want us to remember that emotions are just energy in motion in us, and if we can help our kids through emotions, explain them, and remember there's going to be a first time they go through a strong emotion. Just be aware of it, be empathetic, and really connect with them. And in language, it's lose the blame. I think it's really important to watch our language, and a lot of the time, and I know I was guilty of this as a mum of 3 boys with special needs and challenges. I've been a single mum for 21 years now, and so I'm still going through different things with all my boys. It's the instead of blaming them, they're not making me mad, they're not doing it, it's remembering it's my feeling. It's my feeling, and I spent a lot of time blaming them, and I think it's really good to remember not to do that. We don't mean to, we don't realize that's what it is. It's when we take it back and absolutely be honest and express how we're feeling rather than you've made me.
Hi, my name is Alison Livingston, and it's such an honor to be on this parenting summit about the very important topic of a strong-willed child. I'm a mom of 2. My oldest daughter was very passionate, spirited, obstinate, defiant, challenging. And so I am a personal expert in this. And then I'm a parent coach and have had a business for over 5 years. And all of the parents that come seem to have a strong-willed child. So I've learned a lot from coaching hundreds of parents, teachers, and caregivers. And I'm also a certified mediator and do conflict resolution. So know a lot about it from a number of angles. So I want to give you a tip that I wished I had known sooner that would have helped my daughter and I have a just better relationship. And I've learned so many tools and practices that have really made a huge difference in the power struggles that we used to get into. So the tip is that there are actually different personality types in the world. And if I had learned that she wasn't just doing it to me, it wasn't willful, it wasn't disobedience, it wasn't disrespect, it was actually her survival feeling of how to meet her needs. And I just can't say more about this not taking it personally and this learning about different personality types, because they just come out of the gate with this fear of being controlled. And so it's just a terrible setup between the parents who think they're supposed to be in charge and the child who's fearing being told what to do and losing control. And so it's just a natural result that we get into power struggles, and that it's tense and that it's intense and it's uncomfortable and hard, and it doesn't have to be so like that. So I hope you take a look at the segment that I do and all the different wisdoms that are going to be a part of this summit. It's a great group, and I know you'll learn a lot. So again, it's not about us parents, it's about them meeting needs. And so if we can learn not to take it personally, that they are just being their passionate self, we can learn tools for how to come alongside them and not be so adversarial. So have a great time at the summit.
Hello, my name is Angela Karanja. I am an adolescent psychologist and a parenting teenagers expert, and I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited. Now, as a kid who was a strong-willed child, who then later got a young person of my own who is strong-willed, and also as a person who has worked with so many young people who are strong-willed, I want to say this one thing. All children were born strong-willed. For if they were not, none of them would have come to this life. And we'll talk about that later. Here is the one tip if you want to raise a highly effective young person. Remember, our children are life and they came through us. So our job is to continue propagating that life. So in every moment, I want you to think of yourself as a conduit of life and not a constrictor of life. Therefore, every minute, how you're feeling towards your young person, how you're responding towards your young person, what you're requiring of them to do. Ask yourself, am I a conduit of life or a constrictor of life? Am I a conduit of life? Is what I am requesting, is it propagating and supporting them to live their best life as they were supposed to do? Or am I constricting, killing their spirit? That's the one tip. We'll go into more later.
Hi, I'm Ned Johnson, the co-author with Dr. William Stixrud of the books The Self-Driven Child, The Science and Sense of Giving Your Kids More Control Over Their Lives, and of the forthcoming book, What Do You Say? How to Talk with Kids to Promote Motivation, Stress Tolerance, and a Happy Home. Being a parent has never been easy. Doubly so if you have a strong-willed kid. How do I know? Oh, I got one. My daughter is as intense, as determined, as stubborn sometimes as she is brilliant. Couldn't be a better human, but not always easy. So the tip that I would like to share with you is about how to posture yourself, how to cast yourself, how to think of yourself as a non-anxious consultant. I'll talk about the brain science of what makes kids so intense when they are strong-willed. What are practical suggestions to make, getting out of the door before school easier, transitions to bed and bedtime easier. Based on the more than 60 years that Bill and I have combined, working with our kids and other people's kids as educators, and of a whole bunch of science that underpins this. Ultimately, your job is not to raise a kid, but to raise an adult. And you don't want kids who are well-disciplined. You want kids who are self-disciplined. And yeah, it's a process. But the tips that I'll share, and hopefully this is a great conversation, as it were, as much as virtually allows, is how to help you as concerned, committed, loving parents to work with your kids rather than on your kids as a non-anxious consultant to help them develop themselves in the ways that you want, in the ways that they want, so they can go forward successfully with lives that are successful and meaningful to them. So I look forward to joining you.
Thank you so very much to every single expert that is going to be expert speakers in with their workshop in the Strong-Willed Child Summit. I must tell you that I can't wait for many reasons. Number one, you guys already had shared amazing tips for parents to use, but there are two things that I want you listeners to take with you before you join us in the summit. Number one, you have an amazing child. Don't try to create a good child when you already have one in front of you. Just need to crack the code and understand how to get to them so you understand them and they understand you. And building a relationship, just like Jack said, it doesn't end when they're 18 and out the door. It is a lifetime. We have experts here with already adult children, so they know that it is a lifetime of building an amazing connection and an amazing relationship for your family. So it doesn't matter if you've got a baby in your belly, if you're waiting for a child because you're in foster care or adoption, or you're just thinking about having a child. This summit is just for you because the earlier you start, the better. If you've got teenagers, or even if you've got adult children, you're more than welcome to come and see, what can I do even now after so many years to repair the relationship with my strong-willed child? Maybe my adult child is someone that I can understand now in life, because you know what? I hope that everybody lives for as long and a healthy life as they can, but make sure your relationship with your family is very, very important. I would like to thank every single expert for being here, and that little blonde expert as well, Kristen, that's here with us. I'm so happy she's here. As you can see, I'm smiling because I love kids. Thank you very much, parents, for watching this panel. I do hope that I'll see you at the summit with all of these amazing speakers and their workshop. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone.